le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal.
Hello again everybody and welcome back to Fugit's Blitz with me, Fugit. Hello. Today's video we're going to talk about this little beastie, the AMX 30B, the little French Tier X medium tank that's currently on sale in the store, for those of you who didn't know. Now at the time of doing this review, the tank itself is on sale for a whopping 17,500 gold, which, considering that this is a tier 10 and that the deal comes with all the equipment unlocked, the legendary camos, the attachments, and a shed load of ×5 boosters, it's not a bad deal at all. Now, I mean, the legendary cameo alone is worth a shed load of gold, so if you're really getting this tank for around 13,000 gold, when you sort of even everything out. It also comes in crates, but I would strongly advise you never go down the dark path. But is this tank worth getting? Well, that really depends. The 30B has been around for quite some time now, and it's not the easiest tank to play, if I'm being honest. It's a mix between a Leo 1 without the amazing gun and the great mobility, but it does have poor armor, and a T95 E6, what with the huge cupola that's really easily penned. Now, if you like your relatively fast and relatively inaccurate medium tanks, then the 30B is a really good fit for you. Now, if you're a seasoned Meds player, it's also a really good fit, but this tank is certainly far from noob friendly. Now, I find the 30B a really tough tank to play, tougher than the Leo 1, which, in its own right, the Leo 1 is a very tricky tank to get to grips with at the best of times. Now, the reason I find this one trickier is, well, whilst it doesn't really have a lack of speed, it kind of does, and it generally chugs along. I mean, it's only a couple of kilometers less than the Leo, but it does feel a lot longer, to be honest with you. But that's not the only reason. This thing doesn't have the same profile as a Leo 1. This thing is quite big, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's got a massive cupola. Now, when we compare the 30B to the Leo 1, because they are similar, despite the little differences, which are subtle, however they are noticeable, the Leo 1 actually has more hit points. The 30B has only 1,850, whereas the Leo has 1,908. The Leo 1 has slightly better mobility, although both tanks have the same crossing characteristics. The Leo 1 does deal less damage across all its ammunition, and it has less penetration, but it does have much better DPM. The 30B has 2,862, whereas the Leo has 3,724. That's like almost 1,000 more. The Leo does have less armor, but it doesn't have that really huge, massive cupola that can be seen across from the other side of the map and can be easily hit. The Leo also has much better view range, over 300 meters compared to the 30B's 276 meters. And the Leo, as I said, has a squatter profile, unlike this tank, which has quite a big derriere. The 30B does have better gun depression, which, whilst useful, doesn't really help. We're back to the cupola problem, but it does take almost a full second and a half longer to load that gun compared to that Leo 1. Whilst on paper the 30B appears more mobile than the Leo 1, as I said, in reality it does seem more sluggish. Okay, like the Leo 1, you can really easily get yourself into trouble without being able to get out of trouble equally quickly due to its bigger profile and, did I mention it already, its massive cupola. I mean, this thing stands out like a lighthouse. The enemies are not going to have too much trouble to hit you and get some decent damage. Now, this is not to say the tank is pants, far from it. The 30B has a unique playstyle. It's not designed to play a spotting role. After all, you're more likely to be spotted due to your profile and, yeah, I know I've mentioned it a few times already, it's big cupola.
Crazy.
And it's very poor view range. I mean, 276 meters isn't really good, to be fair. This is an ambush tank. It's designed to support the heavies and to use its DPM to be a nuisance to the enemy team. Much like the Leo 1, the 30B is not designed to be sitting on that front line, But unlike the Leo one, it is not overly happy sitting at the back either. It just doesn't have the accuracy of the gun that the Leo has. It's a pure support and ambush tank, designed just to sit behind that front line and more forward than the TDs are. It's meant to be relocated, using its okay but not stunningly amazing mobility to harass the enemy from different sides and different angles. I personally like the 30B. It's not broken, it's not OP. If anything, it's aiming more to, I really need a little bit of a buff. I think overall the tank is rather balanced. It could do with a slightly better camo profile to hide its massive second head. I mean, it really is big, but that's about it. For 13,000 gold, when you consider the other bits and bobs you're getting, this tank is actually a really good deal. Nevertheless, don't think you're getting some super duper awesome tier 10 medium, because that certainly isn't the case unless you're a really good player. You're getting a pretty decent tier 10 medium that is very tricky to play, like a tier 10 should be, with a playstyle not too dissimilar to that of the Leo 1, maybe the FV4202, but not the same. All in all, the 30B is a great tank, well I think it is, and coming in at a relatively nice price if you discount buying it in the containers. I would actually recommend this one, although you need to remember, this tank is not a forgiving tank and it requires some skill to play it effectively. Anyway, I've been Foodit, that has been my take on the 30B. By all means, comment and everything below because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And until next time guys, remember the mantra, stay safe out there, have fun on the battlefield, and happy tanking. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, having fun and being happy.